Hey guys, hey, it's me, Jimmy Lou from the Messy Craft Corner. Hello, you guys. Come on in and say hello. Woo, we're going to be sewing machining it up today. Sewing machine. Woo. Hey, sorry that I'm a few minutes late, but you know what? I have to set things up. And I didn't get the right color on my machine either, so I'm going to have to go quick grab that. Come say hello, you guys. We had 100 friends here this morning. Let's see if we can get 100 people back and just have some fun. We did some giveaways and all kinds of fun things. So I'm super excited for today. Thank you so much for those of you who became followers. I know Larry agrees. Also, we're just so blessed to have you guys as part of our lives and our Facebook pages and all of the things. And let's just see. This video has ended. I think I need to refresh. Okay, so sewing. So we're gonna sew. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, everything that we did up to this point is just gluing. So you can just continue to have the gluing part. I don't need this because I can see comments in front of me. That's good because I needed this space for all of this. Okay, so this morning we put together a cover already this morning. I believe the covers may be sold out, but I'll do a post after this live and we'll see if anyone wants. I have more of this. It's this that I'm out of. So we could do a couple of things here. We can do a plain, oh, that was noisy, a plain beige on the inside if anyone still wants to get this kind of cover, or we can just make it a point to get more of this. So how are you this morning, Larry?
I'm good.
Everybody was asking on the first live, is Larry still sleeping?
No,
and I said, no.
I was up at like 6.
He's an early riser. So Larry, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. Check this out. This is what we're gonna do on our cover. Isn't that gonna look pretty? Yeah. So this book will be for sale tomorrow. 10% of the sale of this book will go to the local group that trains service animals for veterans. So yeah, I have comments right there. I am good. Do you have any of that lace? Carol Edson, I got it from Hobby Lobby, but if you need some, that's okay. No, you're okay. You can have that off. If you need some, you can message me and I'll give up some of mine. Okay, so what took me so long was I was trying to get all of the inkings of my edges done. So let's talk about sewing. How many of you did not know that you can sew on paper? Let's see. I need to get myself into the Junk Journaling Jamboree because I think people might be looking for us over there. So here we go. Let's see. There's my live. Share. Share. Give me 1 second. I think it's there now. So let's see if it works. I don't know. It may or it may not end up there. Who knows? But anyways, I'm excited for today. We're going to do an entire journal in a day. We are going to sew onto paper. Yes, we are. Oh, thank you, Molly. Thank you, Miss Molly. Miss Molly is here. All right. So I was putting stuff in the kitchen and I remembered that I wanted to put a piece of this in my pages. This is some of my own like experimental paper that I was doing. And so I'm just going to take it and I'm going to tuck it right where near the center of the signature where this is going to be. So look at that edging. That's going to look really pretty in there. So that's where I'm going to tuck that. I have no idea how many pages I have going, but I know that this page and this page I want to sew on. So I have an inexpensive sewing machine. It's just a Brother that came from Walmart. And I need to get the right color thread because my thread is in my box in here. Give me 1 second, you guys. I got some green, and I like to call this Larry's green. It's like an army green.
My color, yeah.
And it's very pretty. It's very pretty thread. So I just thought it will match if we do all the green things. So the sewing machine that was your mom's doesn't work. Oh, I was up until like, I guess it's about a year I have the sewing machine. We were doing a journal in a day, and I was using it was my mom's sewing machine, and it broke. And I was about near heartbroken. So, but it happens, right? These things do happen. All right, so I'm just going to thread this up really quick. Okay.
Having that over a little bit will help.
Let's see. Oh, you get to see my old lady eyes in action. You like the color? This is just well, I think I could have got white too, but I don't know. This one I just thought this one was cool, so. All right, let me get me old lady eyes. Whoever saw the movie Mouse Hunt, where they have that guy and he's trying to thread the needle and he's like, he's totally missing it. That's how I feel. Okay, turn this sucker on. Now, it doesn't do a lot of fancy stitches and stuff like that, but it does have some fun stitches. So let's go ahead. What I'm going to do is I have the vellum and this piece of paper, and I'm going to sew the two of them right together. Let me tip you down. Yeah, this is what mine is, Christina. Mine is from Walmart. It's a brother, and it's pretty amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew these two pieces of paper together. And it doesn't matter where the stitches go. It's just going to look really pretty, right? So let me get let's get a cool stitch. This stitch will probably take a little patience on my part, which I don't always have. But we're going to do it. Ready? Where's my pedal? All right, and we're going to do a couple of things sewing today. Now, I'm going to tell you, I am not the world's best sewer, okay? But I can sew a stitch straight down following the edge of the paper. So my presser foot is down, and it's right along the edge of these two papers, and we're just going to sew them together. Here we go, and I think I probably make a funny face when I'm doing it. I don't know. Okay, so I'm taking this off. Let me get this out of here. I'm going to show you these cool stitches. It looks like a heart monitor was at work here. So take this off. And then that's what my stitches look like. Now, I use a heavy-duty sewing machine or sewing needle. So, like the kind that you use to sew on denim or, what's it called? Put a piece of white paper behind your sewing machine needle. It makes it easier to see the eye. Oh, well, how about that one? Thanks for that tip, Miss Kathy Winter. The brother gives you less problems. I almost bought like a vintage sewing machine yesterday. I was like, ooh, I love this one. All right, so what I'm doing by sewing the two ends of two pieces of paper together is I'm making a pocket. And it's vellum, you guys. I mean, why not, right? So here we go. I really stepped down hard on that sewing machine and that pedal. You don't want to use your $2,000 machine. Well, I'll tell you what. You got to keep the fuzz and the dust because the paper does create like a little bit of a dust. And sometimes you have to wipe your needle. Like when we go and I'm pausing to sew this because I want to give all that glue a chance to dry. But sometimes my needle gets gummy, so you have to kind of, clean that up and stuff too. So right down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to do a running straight stitch right down the center of the two. And the reason that I'm doing that, you guys, look at how pretty that looks. The reason that I'm doing that straight down the middle is so whatever gets put into here won't accidentally end up on the other side because it could happen, right? So I'm just following the line of the paper, the crease that I made, and I'm going straight down the middle. Hey, thanks for the sprinkle. I missed the covering, but glad to see this live. Stephanie, go back and watch the replay and see how we did the covering because it turned out really pretty. that's one thing that you can do with your paper, is you can do that. Okay, so now we've got a pocket, and it's vellum. So I'm going to stick this back into my signature. I have it marked where it was. And then what we're going to do is, I have this piece here. And I'm just going to do that fancy stitch that we did a hot minute ago. We're just going to do that along the edge of both pieces. Okay. And then when we get to, hold on, I have to scooch this chair over here a little bit. Ooh. I have some like vintage textiles and stuff over here. So I'm just going to take a piece of this. I'm definitely using not the right scissors for this. But I'm just going to take a piece of it. And you could probably rip it because it's so old. Yeah, it'd definitely rip easy. Okay, so just kind of shabby it up, right? Just kind of rip at it, just tear it up, and just let it look all yummy and delicious, right? And we're just going to put this along the edge. I'm using that fancy stitch. Okay, I saved a piece for the other side. We're going right down the paper, right through all of it, okay? Woohoo! Here we go. Who's loving it so far? And I gotta tell you, the sewing machine segment of the journal in a day has never been super popular, but that's okay, because it's not for everybody. So see how I just did that? I put a little bit of that shabby fabric at the top, so when it's in the signature, it's gonna look cool. If you don't have a sewing machine, you could just glue it, okay? Also, Close to My Heart had this stamp set that you could do, okay? Oh, I gotta tell you, it was lovely, 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 but they went out of business. So we're just gonna take this piece, I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm just gonna let some of it, just let it all hang out, you guys. Just let it do its thing, and just love on it. Oop, hello, get back under there. So I don't know if you can hear it, but you can hear the needle hitting and breaking the paper, and I love the sound of that. I love the sound of it, like breaking the paper. It just has a neat, like, click, 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 click sound. It has a neat click, click, click sound, doesn't it, Larry?
Just like the clickety.
Clickety clack, going down the train track. Okay. Scooch this over and then show you. Look at how it just looks fun, right? So the one that had, there was one that, this one here's it's a potty seat one. I guess it's funny. I don't know. But we're going to tuck that inside here, just like so. So then when we get, we're scrolling through, we're looking, and we get here, and look at how pretty that looks. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to my music paper, because I just want it to look really kind of cool when you get to it. And, oh, we're just going to rip this up. We're just going to rip it, you guys. We like to rip it, rip it. We like to rip it, rip it. I wished I paid more attention to my mom when she was trying to teach me how to sew. The machine just does all the work for me. I am not who wouldn't want to learn a journal in a day? Well, I guess there are some people who would be like, I don't think so. But that's okay. To each their very own, right? They can all do whatever they like. All right, so I'm going to put this on the outer side out here, like so. Okay, this over here. Line this up on here. We're just going straight down the edge like we did before. So my suggestion is, any sewing that you want to do to a page before you put it, do it before you sew your signature in. I don't want to be like anybody coming back and be like, why didn't you tell me I had to do it? I'm telling you now. Second of all, be really careful using machinery like this. You can get hurt. You know, it's not my fault if it happens. I don't want it to happen to you, but if it does, it's not my fault. But I think the stitching on the paper and stuff just looks real pretty. So technically, what I could have done is in that white space at the top and the bottom of the printable, we could have did this stitching And I didn't think of it until just like a hot second ago. So, but that would have been really, really good to do. So, and then I have these like scrappy pieces. We're going to make a snippet roll. Who wants to do a snippet roll? Who has never seen a snippet roll in action? Because I just taught it to, was it Journal of the Month or Bookmakers? Journal of the Month it was. We just did a whole thing on it. So it does. It visually it does, but it doesn't really extend the paper, but it just looks nice. Been in surgery for a little. Okay. Keep us posted. To see paper, do you have to do specials? Oh, to sew on it. No, I'm using the same setting. The only thing I'm doing different with this machine that I didn't do on fabric is I'm using a heavy duty needle. So where you buy your needles, Hobby Lobby or Michael's, wherever, Walmart, you just buy what is typically used for denim or canvas, okay? Stitching adds that special touch. It does. There's Miss Junk in the Trunk by Maddie. I wonder where you were hiding. Are you feeling any better? She wasn't feeling very good yesterday. And then I do have a $2,000 machine too that does all this beautiful embroidery work. But I too bought a cheap machine so that way if something happens to it, it was $80. You know, it wasn't $2,080. So anything that you want to do sewing-wise to do this kind of thing, you can, right? So here's my signature. Here's my signature. Look at how neat that's going to look in the center. Ooh, it's going to look so yummy, you guys. And we're going to get it ready to go into the book. So now, these white spaces up here, I could have totally sewed with it. No, I don't even backstitch. If it starts, it's not pulling out. I mean, and I let the strings hang all out too. So you could backstitch if that's, I mean, it has the backstitching button, but I've just never done it. So, okay, so here's our piece. I told you, we're going to do our sewing onto this. I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm sorry you're feeling like crapola, right? So, okay, so I have my green stuff. I have this. Everything's just that far out of reach. Oh, I'm in movie star mode. Hold on, I'll post for you. So, I'm going to sew all the way around this book. And I'm going to do it from the outside because I want that pretty looking stitching to be on the outside of my cover. So that means the inside of my cover isn't going to be as pretty because, I don't know, I don't particularly like the stitching that it does from the back side, but it'll be fun. The base of the cover, you can watch the first video from today. It's an envelope. I should add more sewing to my journals too, Beth Nut. And like, I'm just thinking, oh man, for our trip to Kentucky, if I would have had my machine with, we could have did some fancy stitching, but I'm not bringing it. But yes, I think we all should add more sewing. I always say I'm going to do more sewing, and then what do? I don't do it. I forget, or I just get so excited about a journal that I just don't do it. But perhaps, maybe, I'm going to keep the sewing machine handy today. Perhaps, we might do some other things. Okay, so we're just going to take this, and we're going to stitch straight around. Hold on. I still have some ends that are just hanging off and driving me bananas. It's driving me bananas. So Junk in the Trunk by Maddie is 6. So she's going to hang out at her house and watch Jimmy Lou all day. Get lots of good ideas, right? Okay, here we go. I make all kinds of stuff with my cheap sewing machine. I know. I was like, I could have went to the thrift store and got one for $15, but I didn't know if it would work. So I don't want to buy something that won't work. Okay, Carol, I'll check it out. Here we go. We're going to stitch away. And my presser foot edge is right along the edge of my book, okay? So that way it should stay even. Again, I'm not a seamstress. I don't make clothing. I didn't do all of that stuff. I didn't pay attention in sewing class. I didn't even get an A on my little bag that I had to sew. So I just am a girl who likes to journal, and I'm just giving you some tips, okay? Ooh, and you see how pretty this is going to look on this cover. gonna be pretty, you guys. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, get to the end and rotate. Oh, it's so pretty. It's very subtle, but it's very pretty. Good morning, Miss Donna. How are you? We have 64 friends. We get to 100, we'll do another giveaway. But let's do a giveaway now anyways, okay? So tell me in the comments, who taught you how to sew? Whether it's the sewing machine, hand stitching, everybody knows how to sew, even a button on. Who taught you? Was it a teacher in school? Was it whoever? And by the time I get around to this corner, whoever's comment is up there, that's who will win the Happy Mail, okay? And I have a special giveaway after this is over. After we're all done sewing and stuff, I have a special giveaway. Here we go. We're stitching down. Rocking and rolling, guys. Rotate. Your grandma taught you? You learned at school, Margaret? Homeschool economics? Your mom? A lot of you learned from your mom. My great aunt taught me to crochet. Thelma, hello. Nobody did, so so you don't sew. Thelma. Sacred Sew. She's a friend of mine. Deborah over at Sacred Sew. I believe she has a class that you can take that is like a beginner's class if you want to learn to sew. So if you take her class, though, tell her that I sent you. My mother, she made me my wedding dress. Oh, Valerie, I would love to see pictures of it. If you feel like you want to share, put it in the Junk Journal Jamboree. Okay, here we go. We're going to take a Happy Mail winner here as soon as I get back to the beginning. Okay, so this beginning to end journal, start to finish, is free class today. You can take it all day long. The next segment will be at 12:30. 12:30, okay? Did anybody take Sacred Sew's class? Okay, here we go. Down the edge. Backstitch. See, it does do a backstitch. You like to sew? See, this is not my forte. I am okay with not sitting and sewing. So it's really subtle. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see the stitching? It's really, really subtle, but it's really, really beautiful. Okay, so winner chicken dinner is Diana Boone. Diana Boone is getting some Happy Mail. I need to write that down so that I don't forget. Diana Boone. Make sure I have your message, Diana, or your email, or your regular mail. Sorry, your regular mail, so we can send you some Happy Mail. This is an 18,000 follower celebration. Diana Boone. Perfect. Okay. So now what I want to do is we're going to sew in our signature. Okay, that's going to be, we're going to do that. You guys have seen me do it, so let's do that next. Okay, and then we'll do some more sewing machine work, and I'll show you a thing to do with your scraps, okay? So y'all can see. All right, so here's my signature. It's sitting here all clipped together, ready to go. You saw us put it together sort of in the beginning of the first video today. That's where we put it together. So I'm just going to use my clip, and I'm going to clip my papers right into my piece like this. Okay, now we're going to do 4 stitches. We're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but we're going to put an extra loop-de-doodles in here, so that way we can put our last segment today is going to be, hang on, Becky Smith on live. So our last segment today, we're going to do a tassel and some charms and stuff to hang off of our little jujut. So if you're interested in that, fine. If not, just do 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I have ink all over my fingers from inking. Okay, So we're going to start and do sort of the same thing. Get all of your papers into the crack, nice and tight. Nice and tight, Jimmy Lou, nice and tight. You should almost have a third hand sometimes. Anybody else feel that way? Yeah, because my song sheet is tearing a little bit. Oh, I don't want it to tear though. We're going to have to switch it around because if I put it there, it's going to rip. So we're going to put it right there. This will be our center of our signature. Sometimes with old paper that's brittle, you have to like sandwich it. Lindy Thompson Tate. Miss Lindy is here. Hello, Miss Lindy. Have you stopped looking at your book yet? It's so pretty. I'm glad she liked it, you guys. Okay, so here's our cover. My signature is pinned in here. Everything is right side up, it looks like. I don't have anything upside down. And we're going to just jab that hole right in the center. Right in the center. I'm using 3 awls. 3 awls gives me that extra pair of hands. I'm coming up about an inch from the bottom, and we're doing the same thing, poking straight through. Then I'm coming down a little more than an inch from the top, and we're going to poke a hole. Okay, ouch, jab my finger. And then I'm going to scooch this over just a little bit next to it and poke that hole too. Okay, because we're going to make a little loop. So I have 1, 2, 3 holes. There's a hole right here, and then this one here is for our loop. Okay, here we go. Let's get a needle. Somewhere in here there's a needle. Okay, and our thread. I'm just using a beige color wax thread. 1, 2, 3 lengths will give you enough, and then a little extra. Okay, and you get your old lady eyes on, and you thread that big high eye needle. Hello, Hot Mess Express. How are you? This is going to be beautiful. I'm so excited. I've been sewing since I was a child. Clothes, crafts, quilts. Oh, it probably hurts your feelings when I cut up quilts, doesn't it? They usually all have some kind of flaw or something in them, so we're just giving it new life. Okay, we're taking our needle with the wax thread and we're going out from the center to the outside. Okay, so just like so. Then I'm coming up to that second to the top hole. Okay, we're coming out. Got me. You are an all kit should be here tomorrow. Oh, good, Diane. All right, and now we're just going to take this out, and we're going to just kind of make a loop. We're going to go out and back in. Okay, so out that hole and back in. Hold on, I'll hold it up there for you to see here in a second. So I went out the top hole, I'm going back in the second hole, and then I'm going all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom and out. And then we're going to come back in that center hole. And your awls are going to roll all over the table. That's why they call them an awl, because they're all over. I don't know if that's really why. I just crack myself up sometimes. Yes, Jojo. Yes, it's going to be for a tassel or your charms or whatever else you want to hang there. And if you're not going to make something like that for your book, then you don't have to add that little extra loop. I saw that on a lady on TikTok taught it. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. With the Vintage Journal over on TikTok, she showed how to make those little loops. And that's like well over a year ago. All right, so we're going to just give these a pull now. Hang on. When I came back through my loop, came through my... Hang on, I have to fix that or it's not going to get tight. It does matter. Okay, if anyone has told you that it doesn't matter, they're wrong. It matters, because if you can't get the knot tight, then the whole thing isn't going to work. So I'm just even more comfortable pulling the whole thing out, not the whole thing, but out of there and going back in that center hole. Oh, there you go. So now you just add that extra hole with the extra loop. It is getting very warm here in Pennsylvania today, let me tell you. Yes, all day, all day. all day. All right, now I didn't grab it with my needle. So now when I pull, I'm going to get that tight. So it matters. The only rule in junk journaling is to get that signature sewed in straight. You don't want to have a wackadoodle signature or it's going to be everywhere. Okay? So, and you're going to pull it nice and tight. Make sure your thread is not looped around anything that's going to cause it to not be tight. Thanks for blessing the crafty mess. And then we're just going to tie this in a knot in the center here. And then you could leave it long and tie some charms on it, but I looked and I don't have any cute cactus charms, so we're just going to tie it in a bow. You have the wood stove lit? Ooh, girl. I don't know. It could be menopause. I can feel there's air coming in, but ooh, I got to tell you. All right, trim that off. And then there is that. Okay, so we're going to take this off and we're going to take a look. All right, so here's the cover that we did, and we're getting ready. We're going to put the stuff on the cover. We're going to do it. And then here's the, we did a top pocket and a bottom pocket, and this morning everyone said they trusted me. So I'm hoping that everyone will still trust me. You're excited for this one? The printables are, the link is in the description of the video, and they're 40% off. So go grab one if you love it. Okay, so here's the signature. And when we go live at 12:30, we'll take a closer look at all of this. Okay, so that you can see it. Because we have some fun things, some vintage papers in there. We made a pocket with the sewing machine if you missed that. And then we have these envelopes to do a little flip out. So all of that stuff. It's just a little hard for me to hold. So here's my thready poo. Okay, so this is seam binding that we dye here. It is the best because it doesn't fray, it doesn't shed, it doesn't have all the things. Now, I like it curly-cued, but some people, Pat McKinney, who buy it from me, take it and iron it. If you like it straight and neat and ironed, then go ahead and iron it. I won't cry, I won't be upset. But just know that, like, I like it wrinkly and crinkly and all of the things. So what sewing machine would you recommend for journal covers and paper crafting? Okay, Jessie Norwood. I have a brother that I bought at Walmart. It just was really inexpensive because at the time I didn't have the extra monies. Look at how pretty. I didn't have the extra monies to put into it. So I just bought the cheapest one they had. It's a brother. Here's the number. Write it down. LX3817A, and they do still have it. Talk about a call out. Did I call out somebody? What did I do? I get myself in trouble like so much sometimes that I should just zip it. What did I say? About the signature being sewn in straight, that does matter. And I'll argue with anybody about that one because it does matter. If it's crooked, then your whole book is crooked. It's not going to look right. If you have it in nice and straight, if it's loose, if your strings are loose, it's going to fall out. And you're going to put all this time and effort into it. Don't let your signature fall out. That's it. All right, so I'm taking this glue, which is Fabri-Tac, and I'm going on this vintage doily that I have that's really pretty. And it's so pretty that I have extra for the sale tomorrow, okay? And we're just going to glue it right over top of that seam binding. Are you guys ready? Who's ready for it? Oh, Pat McKinney. Yeah, Pat McKinney. She knows I'm just teasing her. She knows I love her. I love Miss Pat. She's so sweet. She sends me lace sometimes, and she sent me some beautiful watermelon fabric that the ladies can get in Kentucky if they want something different. So that's what the front is starting to look like. Okay? And then everybody help me pick on the live this morning. We're just going to put one right in the center. And that's all I'm doing to this cover. Okay, we're not going to, I say it. If we get to the end of today and I did it, I'm going to be happy, okay? Because we may end up putting something else on. I don't know. It's just a word that says journal, or one of those Tim Holtz chipboard pieces with a phrase or a saying. But I think that, like, in my opinion, whoever gets this book, they should determine what goes on the front. But I like it. Ooh, low blood sugar. Miss Ann, I hope you're feeling better. Okay, so that's just my own dyed seam binding with vintage doily. And I got a little too much on there, but we'll trim some off. We'll use those on tags. It's fine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to do a little bit of sewing using up your scraps, okay? So it's called a snippet roll. And I also want to show you how to do a ruffle, okay? So, why was that coming over here earlier and now it isn't? Hold on, I think I might have pushed the door open too much. And my cord is caught. There we go. All right, back in business. All right, so I have a variety of like leftovers over here, like scrappy pieces from the cut today and just different things, right? But I have two things that I want to show you. So I have a piece of this right here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to show you how to do a ruffle, okay? So I just take my piece, I lay it onto my thing here, and I just do a basic zigzag. It's number 3 on my machine if you have this machine. 52. We have awful storms. Are you safe though? Ooh, I was with the baby last night. The baby was a grouch. Okay, can you guys actually see? Let me scooch this way. Okay, so I just start, okay? Just start stitching. Like so. And then every time my needle catches my fold, I ruffle it. I fold it. I push it like this. Can you guys actually see that? Because we could come a little bit closer, I think. Woo! This matches over. Okay, so just like so. Boy, I'm sewing sideways now, you guys. This is a new one for Jimmy Lou. I just push it up underneath there. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. So every time my needle hits that fold, I take it and I ruffle it. I push it up and I fold it under. Now, if you have, some people have the ruffle making thing for their sewing machine, I say go for it. But this is what I do. So when it hits that ruffle part, I just take it, get this up here, and I push it again. And this is just a scrap piece that I had laying here. And they sometimes get all like weird and stuff. We have 72 friends. If we get to 100, we'll do another Happy Mail giveaway. You can see the fold and tuck. Yep, just push it up there, tuck it down, and just keep going. Sometimes if I take my time, it looks really, really good. And sometimes when I'm in a hurry and I'm just going really fast, it gets a little... But I like it both ways. I'm okay with it both ways. You have to love it that way too, right? So just push that up under there and just keep doing it. Be okay with how it looks, okay? That's what I'm going to tell you. There's probably a right and wrong way to this, and anyone can say, yep, there's a right and wrong way, and she's doing it wrong, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. Okay? So I just keep pushing. Can you see the ruffle coming off the back side there? We're sitting all crooked and wonkadoodle now, Larry. All right, and we're just going to keep going right up through. And now I just have a ruffle piece that I can use on the edge of pages. You can put, if you have a spine that's like an inch spine. Oh, you had a tornado, Nelly. Oh, a lot of damage. Oh, I'm so sorry. They're saying hi to Larry.
Oh, hello, everybody.
So now I have a ruffle that I can just toss in my project box, and you're going to see me use this later throughout. If you have a book and it has a spine, you can put a ruffle along the spine, and it looks super cute. If you wanted to, and you didn't have, you know, the stuff on the bottom, you could add a ruffle to the bottom.
It's looking good.
To the edge, wherever you want. It's beautiful. It's turned out really pretty.
That's nice.
Okay, so to do a snippet roll.
Doing it where?
Oh, right. I'll put it back over here. Thank you. I like how supportive you are. All right, we're almost done, you guys. I'm going to show you how to do a snippet roll, so that way I have a snippet for whatever. This is just an old pillowcase, and I took it and I tore it, and I have a bunch of them, and they're just in there. It's a yard long, and what we're going to do is we're just going to sew some things onto here, okay? So I am going to just I have a bunch of like stuff over here. So pieces of lace. Here's some of this that we ripped apart earlier. We're going to use on here. Here's some more. I went into the craft room floor and I picked up a bunch of stuff that had fallen onto the floor the other day. We're going to use these. These are all just little itty bitties, and we're going to make a lace snippet. In that snippet, we're going to add some things that are going to match. Look, I found this. I just want to add this on.
Sound like a snippet of a moment?
Oh, maybe. Maybe. Okay, and then I do have some of this fabric like this that we could take and we could cut pieces of this and just kind of do that. So you never saw a snippet roll. Okay, here you go. Free tutorial on how to do a snippet roll. I'm sitting sideways, you guys. All right, I have a piece of this we're going to add to it. Here's a piece of coffee dyed. And then here's some more lace bunches. I have some of this. This is bridal lace. Anybody want some bridal lace? Anybody want like a yard by 2 inches of bridal lace? Tell me and I'll put you down, and then when we have our sale tomorrow, we'll add it into the thing. And as much of it as I have, I'll sell it. Now it's got a little bit of elasticity to it, but it's really pretty. And it just came off of a bridal dress. It's bridal lace. So if you want a piece, just say bridal lace. I'll write it down for you. So, okay, Jessie Norwood. Ooh, you guys may end up having to message me. Norwood. Lori Smith. If you've never bought from me before, please message me. Anita Brody. Wendy Young. Carol Knight. Darla Benson. Ooh, we're all going really fast now. I'll read them all back to you at the end here, so if I miss Darla Benson. And if you're watching on the replay and you want some, you can message me, okay? And we'll get you down, okay? Let's see. Tina Surface. Carol Wilson. What does it look like? Sure. Diane Brown. I'm not sure what that noise was. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's very pretty. It's kind of a thick lace, so we'll cut it. We'll cut it into 1 yard by like 2 inches. Is that 2 inches? So a yard by like 2 inches is what you'll get off of this bridal lace piece. Okay, so I'm just looking to see if there's a part where I can just grab a bit of it. Maybe we won't use any of it on this. Okay, so what you just do is you just start sewing scrap stuff onto it, right? So we're just going to start stitching. I'm going with a straight stitch, just a basic straight stitch. Okay, and we're just going to put a bunch of different laces and stuff on here. You can fold it, you can tuck it. Ooh. Somebody's getting some paper ready for tomorrow's sale. I can hear them. Just little snippet pieces. And then what you use this for, you're going to see me use it later today. The lace is stunning. I have a lot of bridal lace, you guys, and if anybody needs any, you can always message me because I always have tons of it. And I stopped selling it because so many other people were selling it, and I was going to start bringing it back, and then I don't know. But if you need it, you can get it. So the lace is, here's who got it: Jessie Norwood, Lori Smith, Anita Brody, Wendy Young, Carol Knight, Darla Benson, Tina Surface, Carol Wilson, Diane Brown. If anybody else wants the bridal lace. Did I ever say Pamela Holden? Send me a private message because I'm not sure. Okay, so let's just keep grabbing. We're just going to, this is a pretty big piece, so I'm going to maybe not use that. But here's some yellow. And I think this will look really pretty in here. So we're just going to put some of this on here. And it's very mindless, right? Just sew it down. Just sew it on a straight stitch, whatever you got to do, right? Just down the one side. So we're going down one side and we're going to come back up the other. And when we come back up the other, we're going to see where there's no lace, we'll add lace. And hopefully you can see what I'm really doing there. So, and then let's take a piece of this. We have some of this, and let's just tucking it like so makes it look really cute on a snippet roll. Okay, now this is a yard. Okay, you can do, y'all do you, okay? If you want more than a yard, then do more than a yard. And it's just it's 2 inches, the base piece that I'm sewing on. Sometimes I'm scrunching and sometimes I'm going straight. So I'm doing what feels right, like in my heart, what I feel is looking good. It's looking good in the neighborhood, you guys. So like this part here, when I lay it down, it just is scrunching up a little bit on its own. So I'm just going to let it do that. Okay, I thought I had a little piece of pink that was really sweet. Yeah, some of this. A hunk of pink. Just lay that on there. That's going to look really good. Okay. And now I'm at the end of my snippet. So I'm lifting it up. Let's put that needle back down. And we're turning it. Okay, and I just did a straight stitch, you guys. We'll do a fancy stitch here in a minute. Okay, and then we're going to just take this like so. And we're going to start adding some on the other side. So maybe whatever you see that you have, that you like, that you want to use. Let's get a little bit of this. But see how this piece is scrunched on its own? That's how I'm going to put it on there. We're just going to put that on there and we're going to let it be all on its own. But just do what it wants to do. Okay? So like so. Let's get a little bit of this green. Because the green is just going to look really pretty. And then we're going to use this. When we come back at 12:30, we're going to use this, okay? Let's grab a piece of this shabby looking stuff. Ooh. When we get to the end, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm sewing on each end. So I went down one end of the base piece and I'm coming back up the other. Donna Malone would like some lace. Donna Malone. Okay, so let me tell you, it's gonna, there's gonna be a small charge for it, okay? Because, I mean, no, I'm gonna charge a lot, okay? Yeah, just little bits and bobs and pieces. So if you're coming to Kentucky, I have a lot of bits and bobs and pieces that are left over. And they're just going to be there for you to use for whatever, right? So I'm just going to take a little piece of this right here. And I'm just going to put it right sort of in the middle. Just like that. Catch it a little bit. Okay, what else do we got? Ooh, look at this piece. This is yummy. Yummy in my tummy. Okay, where's that pink I had? Here's some. Look at this. This is just some fun stuff to play with, you guys. And this was just stuff that I found laying around in the craft room, you guys. I thought I had more of that pink, but I must have put it on. Well, let's do some yellow. And we're just gonna do a little ruffle with the yellow. Stick that up underneath there. And this can just be something fun when you're like sitting around at night and you want to like sew. Just grab your scraps, get a little jar, a little whatever. Hello, Angel. Just get a little whatever to keep your stuff in. And we have 90 friends watching. Oh my goodness, you guys. And then whenever you're going to want to do a project, just sit and stitch it. That's it. Just sit and stitch. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to have some pieces sitting here at the ready as I'm doing it, just in case there's like, it needs something. You know, you're going down and you might need a little something in the middle or whatever. We're just going to have a couple pieces sitting here ready to go. I got a couple here. All right, so now we're going to do kind of like a fancy stitch going down the center. Okay, so got to get to the center. One piece right there. And then I'm going to just pull my needle up so I don't have any, like, one messaging me being like, why'd you do that? And what we're going to do is we're going to switch this over to that fancy stitch that we were using on the border of the paper, okay? Now I'm going right down the middle, you guys. Okay? Just right down the middle. Now, when I get to this spot right down here, it needs a little something. So I want to have some things ready to go when I get there. Okay? I'm kind of like this wild, crazy stitch lady that just does all this wild stitching. I just throw it on there, and if it sticks, it sticks. Does that make sense? Yeah. So tell me who makes snippet rolls. Tell me in the comments. Anybody do the snippet roll thing? Some people make lots and lots and lots of them. And then they have them for whatever their need might be. So this one's going to be more specific to what I'm doing. Because I knew I was going to do that. It's more specific to my need, but if you want to do the whatever, do the whatever. I love when stuff rips like that. Oh, it's just so much fun. So much fun. Here we go, right down the middle. Wherever you need a little something, just grab a little something, tuck a little something on there, tuck a little something on there. Whatever you need. A little bit of color maybe. And right down the middle. Now my machine was kind of doing its own little wonkadoodle thing, so I just left it. It's going to look so cool. It's going to look so cool on our page. Anyways, did I run out of... Oh, you guys, I ran out of a bobbin thread right as we were finishing. How lucky was that, right? Okay, so here's all of our pieces. Scooch these out the way. I know, I hear them back there too. So here's what it looks like, okay? So then you can roll it up and you can have it at the ready to go. So we made a couple of things here. We did just a basic ruffle. And you could take some of this ruffle and you could put some of this on your snippet too, okay? And then I got my snippet. It's got 1 inch back there. It's kind of cool. It's hanging out. You could do it with glue. One of the ladies in the class that I taught and we did this in, she didn't have a sewing machine, so she used glue. Now I have this little tassel. I don't know what it came off of. And I was going to put it on here. I was going to stitch it right on, and I forgot. So what I'm just going to tell you I'm going to do is I'm going to just lay it on here, and I'm just going to stitch it down. Because I have a plan for this particular section. Oh, I couldn't sew it on because the thread was gone. We're going to just glue it on. Or, you know, we can take a bulb pin and we can bulb pin it. It was 2 inches wide. The base of it is 2 inches. Let me just double check. Yeah, the base part is 2 inches. It was just an old pillowcase. Yep, you can do it with paper. I don't have any paper scraps right now because we just are really getting done. Yeah, my bobbin thread ran out right at the end of that stitching. How lucky was that? That it just barely made it to the end, but it looks really cool. So we can use this. You can use this on the edges of your covers. We're not going to, but on the edges of your covers, you can use it. You can use it for pockets, for belly bands. We're actually going to take this one. Ooh, I scratched up my thing there. We're going to take this one. And we're going to make a belly band with it. Somewhere in this book. We're going to do it. Right? We're going to find the perfect place. Like maybe here. And then we're going to take a piece. And we're going to glue it down just like so. I'll show you how to do it. Okay? Which end did I say I wanted to use? This end. Okay, so we're just going to take it and we're going to cut a piece. Ooh, that is the length of my book page that I want to use, right? So here's the length, what I want to use, and we're just going to glue it on there. And this is what it's going to look like when it's glued on the page. Just use a little Fabri-Tac at the top and the bottom, okay? Fabri-Tac up here, glue that down. This is now a belly band. Down here at the bottom, just like so. Okay, look at how pretty. And then we can take this, we can put it on a bulb pin and we can connect it right onto there. Okay, we can also get something from the collection. Let me get this out of the way. I can open the door. I gotta make some lunch soon, you guys. I have all of my pieces ready to go here. Let me just grab something that will look fun. Okay. And a bulb pin. Let me grab one of those really quick. Here we go. Real quick, let's finish this part up. Okay. So I took some of Cynthia's cut aparts and we're just going to add these in the center as well because they're just darn cute, right? So let's do a butterfly at the top. We're going to take this, we're going to use a bulb BULB pin. Any color, it doesn't matter because you can mix metals. There's no rules against that. Okay, we're just going to push it on this little vintage tassel. I don't even know what this was off of, but we're going to clip it. We're just going to put it straight through on there. So if somebody gets this and they're like, I don't really like that on there, it's not glued permanent. They can move it. Oops, I pulled up my piece. So it looks like that. Right? So it's kind of just looking shabby. You're loving it? I'm loving it too. So let's do a cactus at the bottom since that's what the theme is all about here. And then we're going to do a butterfly at the top. And then my butterfly, I'm going to use the stickles on. Or not stickles, the Nuvo drops, okay? So I'm using fabric. So I'm using Fabri-Tac, fabric to fabric, paper to fabric, all of those things. And we're just putting it on the belly band. So we can put something up underneath it then, okay? I also have some buttons here, and we're just going to put on a button or two, because that just makes it look super cool, right? Just like that. Take a piece of thread, and we're just going to ball it up, you guys. Just Just making it look a little shabbier. Put that underneath there. Oh yeah, that's looking really sweet. All right, here we go. Country Chic Boutique, hello. Thank you guys for saying congratulations. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate that you guys are here. That's why we're giving you this free day tutorial all day long. We're just going to be here doing all the pretties and all the things. Well, not all day because we're going to take a break and I'm going to be back. I have 12:30 on the thing, but give me a chance to have some lunch and to get set up for the next segment, which our next segment is, I'll tell you what the title is here in a second. I'm just going to put a little thread under there. Let's see. The next segment we're doing is going to be, I had another button. Tuck spots, pockets, and waterfall. We're going to do a waterfall. We're going to have scoops of buttons in tomorrow's sale. We got some really cool ones. And then the ladies who are coming to the Kentucky retreat, you guys, I have button cards you'll be able to purchase. So vintage cards with the buttons on it. Okay, so now this is my snippet roll. So I just kind of decorated it up and I made it super cute. It's your first time watching, Celine? Welcome. We are so glad that you're here. So if you missed, we started this morning at 9 a.m. and we made the cover, okay? And then we just did a whole segment on sewing. We'll be back at between 12:30 and 12:45. We'll be back, okay? I'm feed Larry, do all the things, and we will see you then. Thanks for joining me. 12:30, 12:45. Give us an hour, okay? And we'll see you soon. Remember to always be kind, you guys, because you never know what someone's going through. Michelle King, you will get to see my project in overhead view in the next segment, okay? Because that's where we're going to be working from. All right, so we will see you all at between 12:30 and 12:45. Sign up for the Telegram, and I'll send a telegram before we go live, okay? And have a really good day. Remember to be kind. See you soon.